Okay, Oscar fans, only days to go before the big night. Have you made your predictions yet? Don't fret. We've got, here to our rescue, the ultimate Oscarologist gang of four. Ann Thompson from Indiewire, Pete Hammond from Deadline Hollywood, Tim Gray from Variety. I'm Tom O'Neill of Gold Derby, asking all of you guys, it's all about La La Land, but how many is it going to win? It has tied the record for most nominations at 14. Ann, you first?
9.
Why 9?
I think there are a couple categories it won't win. Picture, it'll win. Director, but if you go through the crafts, there's love for Arrival. Production design could go for Arrival. This is not unusual. If you look at La La Land, it isn't about the production design. It really isn't. You know, it'll win score, it'll win song, you know, Emma Stone maybe, but I don't think that, and I think that the 2 screenplay categories are going to go for Lonergan and Moonlight, Barry Jenkins, so he won't win that one either.
Tim, you have a lower number.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the opposite of Michelle Obama. When they go high, I go low. I think it's pretty sure for 7, and the other ones it could. I mean, it's definitely going to lose out on 1 for song because it's got 2 nominations there.
Ryan Gosling will probably not win.
That's a very strong category. So I don't think he's a given.
Nominations.
Yeah, and I also think like the sound categories and production design. I think it deserves its nominations there, but I'm not convinced it's going to win there.
Pete, according to the Oscarologists at Gold Derby, it's going to win 11. It's going to win picture, director, actress, production design, music score, song, and sound mixing. The 4 on the fence are costumes, screenplay, cinematography, and film editing. We say they're going to win. That brings it up to 11. Its no's are sound editing and actor. So what's...
Well, I think it comes down to what kind of academy you have voting here. If it's like, you know, last year I thought Mad Max was going to wind up winning Best Picture. They just checked it off for all these things, didn't matter what. And that could happen here with La La Land, because they do love La La Land. So I could see them just saying, I like La La Land. I just had dinner with an Academy member last night, and she hasn't even seen La La Land.
She's already voting for it.
She said, I heard it's great. So we'll see, but I actually just got off the phone with another Academy voter who's already filled out his ballot, even though he doesn't have it yet, but he was going through things, and he gave La La Land 1. You know, he's not a fan, but he said definitely music score. So I think you can count on that, the non-fans. But I think it could be, I'm leaning towards, at this point, the fact that I think they're going to be just checking it off and not paying too much attention to it. So sound editing, sound mixing, production design. Costume design, some are saying to me, but it doesn't really have any costumes because they downgrade the idea of contemporary costumes. I think if you look at those costumes, beautiful Technicolor matching here and exactly the kind of look that Damien Chazelle was looking for. I thought the costumes were great, but they think more period usually goes for costumes. They may separate that out. I agree with Ann. I think Arrival has a lot of love in technical categories too, and that can come in if they are looking at their ballot to look at each category. The big question is La La Land just this machine that's just going to go right through? And
Lord of the Rings just went right through.
Yeah,
11
and they
for
just
11.
check it off. So
Right.
if they do.
Let's talk about the top 8 categories. And the big jaw dropper at SAG was Denzel Washington winning Best Actor after having not won anything. He lost the Golden Globe to Ryan Gosling. He lost the Critics' Choice Awards to Casey Affleck. He's not even nominated at BAFTA.
He lost the Golden Globe to Casey Affleck, actually, not
oh, yes,
Ryan
of course.
Gosling.
Right. So basically you have a situation where momentum is the key. And if you have if Manchester by the Sea is losing momentum, and Fences, which just opened over Christmas and is doing really well and is really popular, is gaining momentum, and if you have a message that the Academy wants to send, as the nominations indicated, the PGA and SAG all indicate they want to send a certain message of inclusion. Inclusion, Denzel Washington wins.
What say you?
Listen, I've been on Gold Derby predicting Denzel Washington for a while before the SAG Awards because I feel like, I mean, no disrespect to Casey Affleck, but he's won like so many awards. It kind of sends the message there's one performance that counts this year. I think that's not true. That's a very strong category. But I think Denzel Washington, I mean, he's great in it. I always love it when you've seen an actor for like 20, 25 years and they can still surprise you. And I thought he was great, and it's a real meaty part. And I think it's pretty irresistible. So I'm still predicting he's going to win.
Yeah, and acting is much bigger in Fences than it is in Manchester by the Sea. And we have seen year after year where the Academy voters tend to reward bigger performances, meatier acting, as you say here. And I look at it this way. Yes, Casey Affleck has swept the board in all the critics groups right up through the Golden Globes, but the Golden Globes is sort of in that thing too. But now we have the industry voting, and our first test was SAG, and Denzel won it. Denzel's got the momentum right now in terms of the industry, and I think that's the way it's going to go.
No, but I also think your point is right on, momentum and timing. I mean, it's like, there have been a lot of movies that I feel kind of peaked around November, December, and they got the nominations, but I do think, like Fences, I'm also very curious to see what happens with Hidden Figures.
Indeed. That's another one that had a surge over the
But
holidays.
let's not leave Denzel. Here's the problem with the Denzel prediction.
Yes.
And it often has to do with the kind of roles that they choose as voters. It's not a heroic role. This guy's a scoundrel. He's a SOB.
You love
Yeah, he
him
won for
anyway.
being an SOB in Training
And Training Day, that is absolutely true. But here's the case of modern history, is that if they embrace a devil, they want it to be a winking devil. They want it to be J.K. Simmons. They want it to be Heath Ledger. They want it to be Javier Bardem. And this is not a winking devil. He's just an unapologetic devil in many ways.
But you feel for him. The father-son thing
Yeah.
is real. You feel for him.
It's a guy who didn't have the chance that he felt in life, and so he's bitter about it, and he's living his life now.
Death of a salesman, kind of.
Yeah, it is very much that. So I wouldn't call him the devil. There's a lot of people out there who have become embittered by the chances that they didn't get, and clearly.
But I mean, he's not as heroic as the other things. If he wins, he will join a lofty pantheon of there are now 5 people who've won 3 Oscars and 6 if you count Katharine Hepburn as the other one there. When you look over the whole terrain of the Oscars, it does make kind of sense that Denzel belongs in that pantheon, right?
Sure. He's a very popular actor. That's
He's
the
not
other
campaigning.
thing.
You guys are on the
He's
out
been
there.
around.
Oh, he's been
around.
really campaigning.
And the
He's
actors
been
love
out there
him.
doing everything. Yeah, he's done all the Q&As several times.
And he directed this. People
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
respect
And
that.
it's interesting
No,
to
I
note
agree.
that he is the first one ever to direct himself to an acting award in SAG, and he will be the first since Laurence Olivier
In
Hamlet to do it at the Oscars if he wins.
Roberta Benigni.
Roberto
That's right.
Benigni, second. Sorry,
This could be irresistible. You're really talking me into this.
And
I wasn't sure. I mean, I think Casey Affleck is still a strong
Yeah, I think
contender given
still a
everything
possibility.
leading up to this.
No, I agree, but
And it's a big, deeply felt performance,
Yeah.
Casey's role.
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
deeply internal. Very difficult to achieve that
Yeah.
kind of performance.
Is
Not
there a
so
poss-
showy. Showy's easier than what Affleck did.
Is there a possibility for anyone to beat Emma Stone for lead actress? I think this is a very, very crowded race with viable contenders. Natalie Portman she's the famous person portraying another famous person. Meryl Streep is now a hero in Hollywood.
Love her.
Taking on, as a liberal firebrand, taking on Washington, and often that certainly helped Jane Fonda at times when she needed it in an Oscar race. And Isabelle Huppert is the one contender here who is very different from all the others and appeals to that snobism in the Academy. Does she have a chance?
I think she got the nomination. I think that's the score there in the most competitive Best Actress race in years. I think it's Emma Stone's. I really do.
I think
she's
it's
won
Emma
the right
Stone.
things. I mean, Natalie won Critics' Choice, but I don't think that really
No, that was way
matters.
too early. Critics' Choice went off on a thing where they thought, oh, she's going to win. So yeah, and that at that moment she had some mojo, but has totally lost it when she lost the Golden Globe.
And Jackie isn't a Best Picture contender, and it
they
isn't
don't
that
love
popular.
Jackie,
I
quite
love it, but
frankly.
it's not that
They
popular
don't
with
love
the
it, no.
mainstream.
but see,
Still, Alice wasn't nominated for Best Picture either.
That
was
doesn't matter. They don't.
And that was a career prize,
Yeah,
too.
that was a much different situation.
But see, I still think Isabelle Huppert could be
I do too.
the Mark Rylance of this year, where you think, oh my, why didn't I see this?
The big question is, will they watch Elle? And I'm talking about the below-the-line voters and all of them. They foreign language nominees, they can get it. Marion Cotillard aside, it's very difficult for a movie like that to get seen. It's only nomination there. I love Isabelle Huppert, but I just don't see it. I don't see her winning.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you could be right. We'll never know what the tally is, but I do think if people have seen it, I mean, they got to be kind of blown away by her. And listen, I hate people who say, oh, he's already got one, so he doesn't need one. It's like, okay, this is about performance. It's not about career. But with Natalie Portman, I do think it's like, oh, she's already got one.
Yeah,
So
maybe you're right.
I think that is.
She's young, too.
Yeah,
She has a ways to
exactly,
go.
Exactly. She'll get more. So yeah.
In the supporting actor race, Mahershala Ali seems to be running the board here, but we have this odd thing of the veteran achievement in this category. They often prevail. Sometimes they pull off upsets. Pete, you were famously alone predicting Jim Broadbent for Iris, and Pete always loves to say, well, if there's going to be an upset, it's usually in those supporting categories.
Yeah, well,
Could Jeff Bridges, the veteran here, pull off an upset?
He could. I don't think so after the SAG speech by Mahershala Ali. I think that set him up
I am
for...
a Muslim.
Yeah, I think that has set him up for a win, even by people that aren't looking at the movie. They're going to go, that guy. And, you know, it's good. Oddly enough, I thought he was good, very good in Moonlight, but I thought there were 3 other actors in there that I would easily have nominated are even better than him. It's a small role. If you look at Moonlight, it's a very small...
He's only in the first third of the film.
But
Very
it's also
understated.
the heart of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
Exactly.
emotion. I would look at the picture of him holding the little boy, and
Yeah,
I would cry.
Yes,
You
so,
know,
and that goes
that's
a
a
long
huge
way.
thing.
So it's a very small role. I just saw the movie again, and I'm going like, wow, he does not have that much screen time.
He's the
But-
best known of all of them. That's
Yeah.
the other issue.
Yeah, but they are all so good. I was surprised that did not win ensemble.
We had an
Yeah.
upset in this category last year, Tim, when Mark Rylance won. Is it as much of a done deal as these two, Sam?
Well, I'm not sure they are saying it's a done deal, but I think they're right. I do think it's him because I mean, what you said, he's the heart of the movie, and it's like when he's not there, you keep wanting him to come back. You kind of miss him. But you know, the last 2/3 of the movie, you don't see him, but he's made such an impact that you think about him a lot. So I kind of think it is him. I'm trying to think. Wait, who is there? Anybody else who we think
Dev
is?
Patel, I think, has a remote chance here. He is Lion. He is the lead star.
Yeah.
He wasn't even nominated when his movie Slumdog won Best Picture.
Yeah.
But nobody can beat Viola Davis, right?
No.
No.
Why?
Because Viola Davis's time has come. She's won everything else. She's brilliant in that movie. She has the
Undeniable.
scenes. I don't
She
see
plays
how.
the long-suffering wife.
But I mean, seriously, when you said she's brilliant in that movie, that's the key right there.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like, I mean, people like her and they respect her in the industry.
Right.
But I don't think they would give her this as a gift. It's, if you see that performance.
No, they're not going to give it
I
to her
mean,
as a gift. She steals it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, that's
she's
her
electric.
movie. And Denzel's the first one to say that.
She
you know.
could have won Best Actress.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so
That
too.
said.
And that is
I'm
a
sort
role.
of sorry she didn't do it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
That is a role she could have gone for as Best Actress.
They both won Tonys on Broadway.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
Steven.
they did in the lead category, but in the original production of Fences, Mary Alice won Featured Actress on the Tonys, and it was originally that, but they both have top billing
title.
in this, above the title billing, and in the Tonys, you have to go for lead if you've got above the title billing, and so that was she didn't have that decision to make. Here, she made the decision herself to tell the people to campaign her, you know, to put her out there as a supporting actress.
Now, the other 2 of the top 8 categories that we're doing in this video here are the screenplay races. La La Land is ahead for original screenplay according to the Gold Derby experts. 12 of us are picking it to win. Manchester by the Sea is in second place with 10 experts picking it. Here's the problem. Musicals, as we know, don't win the screenplay awards in general. You've got to go back to the 1950s when Gigi and American in Paris won.
Right. And the last one to win original screenplay was American in Paris. Gigi was an adapted screenplay only because it was based on a straight play and a book. But, you know, so we're
that's,
going way back to
right,
1951.
I'm not picking him for screenplay because I think Kenneth Lonergan is going to win. He made an enormous comeback with Manchester by the Sea, and I think that he's going to win this category. And now that Moonlight is out of it, now that it's an adapted screenplay, it's his. I just feel like they're going to do that. They're going to do Moonlight, Manchester for those 2 categories.
We're talking about original screenplay, so it's La La Land, Manchester by the Sea, Hell or High Water, The Lobster, and 20th Century Women.
Yeah, the only 2 that have a chance there are La La Land and Manchester. Again, if you're going and checking off things, this may be the case of the original musical coming through and winning. Musicals don't win. When West Side Story wins 11, the one it loses, wins 10, the one it loses of 11 nominations is screenplay. Down the line, that's happened.
At the Golden Globes, it swept 7 for 7 races,
And
including
that's why
screenplay.
I just have
Didn't
a
it tie
feeling-
for Screenplay Critics' Choice?
It did. It tied in Critics'
It's winning
Choice.
Screenplay Awards.
Yeah, I know, and I can see it happening at the Oscars too. And I don't know how they're going to present them on the show, but last year that was the very first award. So if it is Manchester by the Sea, that'll be an interesting way to start, that it's not La La Land. People will start getting nervous right away.
Do you have a strong opinion in this race?
I mean, you know, there's a soft spot in my heart for Hell or High Water. You know, I really like that film. Actually, I like all of them.
That's a very strong script.
Yeah,
great
And a popular movie.
yeah, it is. Yeah, and
great
so I'm thinking, you know, again, I think that could be an upset, but I do kind of think La La Land is going to win this because, you know, the last few years, Oscar just keeps breaking all their rules. You know, you look at Oscar history, and there's this trend, and in the last few years, it's like it's gone all over the place. So I'm thinking, yeah, what Pete is saying is that it would break tradition if it wins, but I'm thinking it might break tradition.
2 years ago, we had an upset in the Screenplay Races by Imitation Game. And this year, the equivalent movie, in a way, you could say, is Hidden Figures, behind the scenes, kind of heroic people not getting credit for amazing things. And it's in 4th place, according to the Gold Derby odds. But it just pulled off this spectacular win at SAG. Do any of us here think it could take down Moonlight in the race for adapted screenplay?
I do.
No.
I do.
So
I absolutely do. I think it's built and built and built, and it's a box office hit. Moonlight is way down on that. That doesn't mean anything. Moonlight is beloved in the Academy, I think. I think they really like that movie, but they love Hidden Figures.
Only 3 nominations.
I know. And a way to,
it doesn't have the support through all the categories
Wouldn't it be
that
interesting?
Moonlight has with 8.
Wouldn't it be interesting if we have a repeat of Spotlight, where we have a Best Picture winner that won Best Picture in Screenplay? The Academy member I just talked to, who was reading me the ballot he's going to cast, Hidden Figures, Best Picture. The person I had dinner with last night, an Academy member, has actually seen Hidden Figures and loved it. You know, hasn't seen the rest of the movies, but
the only person at Gold Derby among the experts and the editors who got the SAG ensemble prediction correct was Marcus Dixon, our senior editor, who said he knew it was going to win. He put it out front, Hidden Figures, at SAG, because it's the one movie that is female focused, and it's up against all these guy films.
La La Land is female focused.
That's true. That's true. So,
and it definitely.
but La La's
notches that
over
box.
in original screenplay. So in the adapted screenplay, we've got Moonlight. Well, Arrival. That's what you just said.
I don't think Arrival's going to win Screenplay.
No.
And it's up against Fences, and so do you think
Fences is
gender
not
can
gonna
play a role here to help Hidden Figures win, or you're just saying it's Moonlight?
Well,
period.
I look at the SAG ensemble as being about actors liking
Okay.
Hidden Figures. That makes sense to me that they would like it. Writers, not so much.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see the way Writers Guild goes. They have them in different categories,
Of
though,
course,
this
this is
year.
the whole Academy voting now, of course.
Yeah, so we've got Writers Guild won't even tell us, because they have Moonlight competing against Hidden Figures and what have you. So it's a different ball game. But
Sure.
I think Hidden Figures actually does have
I agree
a
with you.
chance. Yeah.
I think,
But for screenplay or
Yeah,
Best Picture?
likability.
Or both?
Well, it has a chance in Best Picture. It could be that shocker. I take you back to 1972. Cabaret won every award. This was a musical. Won every award under the sun until it didn't win Best Picture. What won? The Godfather won Screenplay, Picture, and of course Marlon Brando. But you could have a situation like that where the musical just sweeps and then all of a sudden falls off a cliff.
That ain't gonna happen. But it's an interesting scenario, and this is what we love to do here at Gold Derby, is just turn these things around every which way to examine them for you, to make sure that you get your predictions right. Go to Gold Derby, log in, make your predictions, and beat us. You can do it.
They often do.
In fact,
they do.
pretty much every single time.
It is humbling, I have to say.